Welcome to Gino's Spot. Ding.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino's Shot.
Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino's Spot. Woo-hoo! My name's Clyde Smithers, and I'm your host tonight. They chose me, and I actually asked if I could be on a few times. I've been asking for the last year and a half, trying to get on, even before COVID. But they finally got me on, and I'm going to use this opportunity to try and say hello to the ladies out there. The ladies, that's right, ladies. I'll always try and impress the ladies. One thing that you need if you want to be good with the ladies, is they said one word: confidence. And I'm good with the ladies. I'm okay with the ladies. I've been there. People say, "How you get where you are, Clyde?" I say, "Easy. I don't know." A lot of women, I know what they need. The ladies need. They need security. That's what they say. Ladies need security. That's why whenever I'm with them, then they shout out for security. Then always stuff happens. Anyway, it's Gino's Spot tonight. So we got lots to get to. We are looking backstage tonight. We're going behind the scenes for quite a few of our recent guests. We're going to have a look. That's right, and check out what was going on. Thank you. First of all, I hope you got your drinks. That's right. You got Fitch and Leeds, our sponsor. Thank you very much to Fitch and Leeds and to Spa. Well, amazing. They've been supporting so much during lockdown as well. And of course, our internet provider, Amubia. And here I've got my shrine. Whoa! Check it out. I've got the shrine. Everything is ready to go for Gino's Spot. That's right. So we're going to hit a song now, ladies and gentlemen, just to warm up the cockles of your heart. I think that's the right word. Okay, hit it, maestro. That's right. For the ladies. This lady, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. I'm a sexy bomb. Oh, spy on me, baby, you satellite. Infrared to see me move through the night. Ain't gonna fight, shoot me right. I'm gonna like the way you fight. Now you found a secret code I can use, washing away my lonely blues. You can't deny I like it, you're the only one to make me fly. Here we go, that's right. Sex bomb, you're my sex bomb. You can give it to me when I need to get along. Sex bomb, you're my sex bomb. Baby, you can turn me on. sex bomb, sex bomb. You're my sex bomb. To me when I need to come along, sex bomb. Say I said, you're my sex bomb. Maybe you can turn me on. Maybe you can turn me upside down, inside out. Maybe you can turn me around and all the way down. Maybe sometimes you're the real deal. You can give it to me every time I come along. Sex bomb, sex bomb. You're my sex bomb. You can give it to me when I need to come along. Sex bomb. How's that? You're my sex bomb. Maybe you can turn me on. Hey! Sex bomb, sex bomb. You're my sex bomb. You can give it to me when I need to come along. Sex bomb, sex bomb. You're my sex bomb. Maybe you can turn me on. Baby, you can turn me on. Baby, you can turn me on. Maybe you can turn me on. Baby, you can turn me on. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino's Spot on this Saturday night. It's going to be wonderful. We are taking a little bit of a look back. We've had such an interesting couple of months. And I'm going back to the guests that we've had over the last little while and taking all the interesting parts. But what I'm going to do is we're going to show you what happens behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. So, you know, it's always chaos here, complete chaos before every single show. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of that. That chaos, and also I'm going to show you the thinking that we had behind some of the questioning that we put through to some of our guests, and all of our guests have been absolutely phenomenal. We've been so lucky. There's never been a bad egg, you know. You never know when you're interviewing people live what's going to happen, and with Gino's Spot, it's always a case of trying to cheer people up and make them feel happier because COVID has been so crap, and so we've tried not to dwell on the negative, and always just bring out the positive. And I think what we've got though is Fitch and Leeds, obviously our sponsors from way back as well, and Spa has been absolutely phenomenal. I've got a special shout out to those guys, and of course Amobia, who've always helped us with our internet from the beginning, you know, and we probably wouldn't be able to do this stuff if we didn't have that help. So Gino's Spot's become kind of a thing, you know. People, it's like a TV show with interaction, isn't it cool? I mean, you got the comments coming in, how's that? Comments coming up all the time, and we can respond. It's a wonderful medium. So first of all, we have to say thank you to our Fitch and Leeds guy, and one of the chaps that's been doing every week for I don't know how long, is 8 months now, is Justin from Fitch and Leeds, and he always gives us we call him the magical mixologist, and we're going to see what drink he has for us today.
When the sun goes down and you need a little tickle, Fitch and Leeds have got a flavor for the people.
Hey guys, welcome to Magical Mixologist. Today I'm going to be bringing some heat, and by that I mean I'm going to be showing you a gin cocktail with a bit of spice and everything nice. Alright, so today for this we're going to be needing some red chilies, some Tabasco sauce, some lime juice, some simple syrup, obviously a shot of gin, and of course our Fitch and Leeds grapefruit tonic. Okay, so I just want to make sure that our chilies aren't too hot. You know the procedure in this country? No, we cool. Alright, so we're going to toss a couple of those in there. We're going to throw our lime juice, our simple syrup, our shot of gin, and a splash of Tabasco. Just one. Oh, okay, might have been more than one, but that's one. Cool, alright, we're going to take the shaker full of ice. This is boil. And then our garnished glass, as you can see, there's a green chili and a red chili garnished on that glass. And there we go. Looking delightful. And of course, as I said, Fitch and Leeds grapefruit tonic. Bang! Look at that. Awesome. And as is tradition, cheers. Thanks, guys.
Fitch and Leeds have got a mixer that'll fix you on the table.
Fitch & Leeds, the bespoke mixer for the discerning individual.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin, for doing all this, these beautiful mixologists and these fantastic drinks that we can try at home, you know, with our little bit of Fitch & Leeds. Yeah, I've got my little Fitch & Leeds here, which I've got this is a lovely little flavor here. It's a little lemonade. I'm going to get it. Well, actually, I can't get it because that's the first lesson in behind the scenes tonight. Is that this used to be my studio, and we filmed it. And then we decided we were going to put a green screen up so that we could use this background area for our guests and for questioning and for films and things like that. So we've got a green screen in place, which I'll show you right now. Check this out. Ha! You see, now this is a green screen behind us, so we can put anything on there. We can put any sort of background, and so that background is actually was filmed a while ago, and we can put the studio back again, but I think this works quite nicely. So now I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstage tour. I'm going to use my drum cam because that was got a nice wide look about it. So let me just if I can get Gary to put that on. All right, and we got the cam. All right, this is the drum cam. This is my drum cam, and I'm just going to show you around a little bit. Obviously, here's a green screen and a couple of lights on the side there. You can see. Here we go. There's my screen that I look at. We see you guys and all your comments on there. We've got our mixing desk on this side here as well. Just see if I can get this thing around. There we go. Our mixing desk is over here. We've got camera 2 over here for a bit of an extra angle over here, and just behind me, of course, is the green screen and the drums. The drums are over here. There we go. So we've got a little bit of LED lighting to help with so you can see me on screen. Over here we have a little bit of gin, and this is where we mix our Fitch & Leeds. You know, of course it's a bloody mess behind you. Let me tell you. This is where Gary sits over here. This is the nerve center, really. We've got little switches here and a whole bunch of screens so we can see exactly what's going on and what's coming out on your side right here. And of course we have the kitchen on that side too, which we can also use. Here we see around the corner there, we've got the kitchen here now, and a little bit of lighting above there. Lovely, you know. This was a cottage in front of my place here in Thomas Road. So we've used it. We've got it. Used it with good effect, and of course we put this on the drums again because we have the drums a little bit later on. We can do that. That's a little bit of a wide angle background look at what's happening behind the scenes in Gino's spot. Right, now back to the front camera. Ha! Check it out, behind the scenes. That's right, a Gino spot behind the scenes. Look at that, it's lovely, isn't it? It's nice and colorful. Gary likes that sort of thing. He's been working the whole night on doing that background for you. We've had a smorgasbord of guests coming in over the last little while, and some of my favorite interviews. So we're going to give you a little background into all of them, and into the line of questioning that we used, obviously, to try and get information out of them. And they've all been absolutely fantastic. Our first guest that I'm going to delve into tonight is Graham Vass. Mr. Graham Vass, a very popular chap. He's and well loved, and someone who I've always respected over the years. Amazing man, amazing businessman. Been involved in so many huge projects. Most well known to PEs, obviously the Boardwalk Casino, which he started when it was built, from the construction process right the way through. It was so interesting to chat to him. All of our guests, at the end of the interview, we normally ask what their most embarrassing moment was, and it's normally a funny story about something, or maybe the worst gig that they've ever had. Graham Vass came up with an absolute corker, which really made me laugh. Let's have a look.
Embarrassing moments. I've had a few, but probably I moved from Gaborone Holiday Inn to Mthatha Holiday Inn. My first innkeeper position was at Mthatha Holiday Inn, and Megan's mother was my PRO. So Megan's mother decided to do some matchmaking and invited Megan to come to Mthatha for Christmas. And as you can imagine, the whole world tries to go to Mthatha for Christmas. It's one of the highlights, one of the spots that one aspires to go to for Christmas. So Megan said, "You must be flipping mad. Why would I come to Christmas Mthatha? Meet my new boss." Anyway, one thing led to another, and it wasn't that long after that Megan moved to Mthatha, and we started our relationship, which is an incredible relationship to this very day. And Megan moved into which was a company-owned house in Mthatha, and everything was honky-dory. What I'd sort of neglected to mention is I had a girlfriend at the time living in Johannesburg, and my Johannesburg girlfriend decided to pay me a surprise visit.
Oh, lovely.
So she flew out to Mthatha on a Friday afternoon and went to my house, to surprise me when I got home. And Megan came home and bumped into her into the lounge. So a little like my hippo story, apparently there was something I should have mentioned. It was a tad embarrassing. So that might rank as one of my more embarrassing moments, trying to get my way out of that one. But
I don't know how you get out of that. I can't. I'm actually honored. I was actually honored that Graham would actually put his own marriage at risk to tell me a story. All right, and next up, we had the amazing and warm-hearted Jill Stewart. That's right, Jill Stewart. Hello, Jill. Lovely to have you on board. Jill was incredible. She is so beloved in PE. She's an institution, in fact, and the love was brought out for sure during this show. I'm proud of the fact that Gino's spot actually connects people again in this time when connection comes at such a premium. It's you don't get out there, you don't get to connect with your people, and So Jill, with Jill, we definitely managed to do some of that, and Charl Leslie popped in as well. Charl pops in from time to time with a number of our guests because Charl Leslie knows everybody in town, and there was a lovely bit of banter going on between the two of them, and as well as Bully G, of course, and we what I'm proud of here is that we really got everybody to connect, and there was some real emotion in here. So let's have a look at Jill Stewart with Charl Leslie.
Thank you, Jill. You really are a gem and a blessing to all of us who've crossed your path. And I thank you for your contribution to my career. I love you so much. Mwah!
I'm actually a bit emotional. Sorry.
Shame, man. She's always so full of beans. I love Bully. And but we got someone else as well. While you're sitting there, Jill, she's plopped on. Charl, how you doing, man?
Hello.
Oh, Charl, you look so good.
So, thank you. I'll take that because I know how old I am.
50.
I'm a couple months older than you are, Gino. Let's not splash that figure around unnecessarily.
Radio uppy.
Charl.
The short version is Jill wasn't responsible necessarily for appointing me and Martin, but she was charged with, I suppose, bringing us up is probably the best way to put it. And may I take this opportunity to say, for somebody who has such a beautiful golden voice that is distinctive as hell, she was quite a cow when it came to to some of the stuff.
Yes, I was. I know.
I'm also wanting to ask, cameo what, Jill? About a box of 30th show?
Absolutely. It was, but I didn't smoke them all, obviously. Oh my goodness, I'm getting too emotional.
We watched them burn out.
Yeah, heaps of them. Oh, goodness me.
Smoking in the studio. A scandal.
It was allowed then.
It was allowed.
Then.
No, it was allowed. Yeah. There were no computers then, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we all collapsed when computers came in because we weren't sure how we'd manage this.
Yes.
in short, because I can't stay for long because I'm literally fetching Charlie's food, as I said. It would be remiss of me not to say what a massive influence Jill was on mine and Martin's careers. And she was the lady who took us, who took us from varsity wannabes to, you know what, we'll actually let you do this.
New Year's Eve, the first time you were on. Remember?
Yes, I do. 1 a.m. on the 1st of January, 1994. It was Jill, myself, Martin, Neil Pinar, and
Gordon?
Gig Guide Lady back in the day.
Okay. I don't remember her either.
No, your friend whose husband was...
Elise Fish?
No.
Friend whose husband was a pilot.
No, it was the muso. And the shadows kind of...
Liz Ross.
Liz Ross.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes,
Liz Ross. Oh, shame. The late
Those were
Liz
the four
Ross.
people in studio at 1 a.m. on the 1st of January, 1994, when Martin and I completed the then Radio Algoa's 24-hour cycle by hosting the 1 to 5. And Jill took us from, as I said, varsity kids who thought they knew more than they did to actual radio presenters who then stayed with us and mentored us on an ongoing basis. And I don't think I've ever fully expressed my gratitude for that. I have what is now fast approaching a 27-year professional career in radio. And it's in no small part because of you.
Thank you.
You are a living legend. And for radio purposes, that is my mom, respectfully. That is the long and the short of it. That being said, I will also never forget.
I know where you're going.
I love Charl. I love you, Charl, for this.
I used to do 9 to 12. When Martin was moved to breakfast and off 9 to 12, I took over 9 to 12 in the year 2000, including a feature called 8 Tracks.
Yes.
And I used to be sneaky as fuck, and I don't mind swearing because
so wasn't that music compiler at the same time?
Yes, Jill was music compiler. And I added a Van Halen song to one of the 8 tracks that Jill just looked up the CD reference and let me play it. But about 45 seconds into that song...
It wasn't Van Halen.
Who
was it? Not Hallelujah, his other one. The Revolution, something...
Prince.
No. Anyway, the shortest possible version is Jill was in the studio inside of about 45 seconds saying, "You fade this now."
No, I didn't say that. I said, "What is this shit you're playing?"
Yes, okay,
Those are my words.
And the other memory that's relevant is an outside broadcast from Jeffreys Bay involving what can only be described as an irresponsible number of cocktails. And I was driving the show from the studio, and it's a green one now. It's a blue one now. It's a red one now. And at about 11:43 a.m., I'm on record as having said to Jill, I only need 2 more links out of you. Please, please, please keep it together.
It opened in Brooks Hill. There was some crowd that opened.
Cafe Radizio.
That's it.
Radizio.
And right next to us. And they were sending, you know, these beer glass things, these plastic beer things that you get at festivals.
I do.
Yeah, those exactly. That's what they were sending us, all different colors. And I mean,
sangrias.
No, sangria, nothing on this.
Oh, no.
You're not going to go with the other one, are you?
No, we're done. We're done.
Okay, we'll save that. We'll save that for another time, Charl.
We'll save it for the book.
Thank you. Oh, Charl, I love you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Go and get your Chinese food.
Jill, yeah. Love you long time and only
Long
forever.
Okay.
And cheers to you, Jill Stewart. I love you to bits, indeed. You know, that was really fun. There was a whole bunch of people coming in, and so much warmth in there. Our next guest after that was a chef. We've had a few chefs on. We've had John Berger, and we've had Gordon Wright all the way from the Karoo, which we'll have on again, I'm sure, as well. But our one we did recently was Chef Ralph. Chef Ralph, he's working hard there as per usual. This man works like a maniac. Yeah, take a drink of have a bit of Fitch and Leeds. There we go. Lovely. Chef Ralph always working hard, stirring the pot as well. He likes to do that too, let me tell you. Now, Chef Ralph gave us, there were two things that happened with Chef Ralph that I want to discuss today, sort of behind the scenes. The one was that we asked for a few tips, and he gave the most amazing 10 cooking tips. Let's have a look at those. They are so useful. They're so useful. So if you've got a pen, write them down right now. Let's have a look at Chef Ralph's cooking tips.
We have a professional school in Port Elizabeth, which is called SACA. That's short for South African Academy of Culinary Arts. Yeah, so we opened the school 2013.
Now I know that that you've given us gone through a couple of tips, because I asked you for a few cooking tips before we even go into your history, because your history is amazing. I wanted to find out about some of the stuff. You've given me about 10 points here. And I see the first one is let your cookie dough ripen at least 24 hours before you bake it. Is that an important thing then? Your cookie dough.
It's not only for cookie dough. No, let's put it in perspective. Cookie dough. If you make ice cream, if you make creme brulee, creme caramel, any kind of custards, you let it ripen in the fridge for about 24 hours. It just gives you a better flavor and a better texture and a better finish, because basically you give the ingredients more time to marry. You know, happily being married, all the ingredients together.
Chemically get together. Hey,
it makes a better product for sure. And I mean, most professional. I'm doing it for sure. You know, that's for sure.
Makes that extra difference. You see, we need to know those things, because everybody's a baker these days. You know,
since COVID, everybody's a sourdough expert.
Everybody's
a professional chef apparently. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys know, the guys out there have heard that now. We've got to, the cookie dough, we've got to let it ripen, and the custard. And then you say a bench scraper is your secret weapon for tackling just about everything. What is a bench scraper?
Okay, I'm prepared. Let's have a look at this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's about the cheapest one. This is plastic. If you can't get this, you can buy it in some shops. You can always use a plastic bucket, and you cut one out yourself. That's what I did in the beginning. And that thing is just for anything to take out of a mixing bowl, to scrape the table with, to lift your bread up. You turn it around, you take the smooth side, you comb your cake, whatever you want to do. It costs you nothing, but I'm telling you, this thing is 10 times better than any 100 Rand spatula with a wooden handle which falls off after 2 weeks. A scraper is definitely the first thing I would buy, or I would make myself out of a bucket, plastic bucket.
Out of a bucket. Fantastic. I love that. I love that. Then I see you for more accurate baking. Measure all your ingredients by weight, not by volume. Is that the case? So not.
Yes. So Gino, basically what happened is, when not only in South Africa, but when I started the cooking classes at Pastryworks in Saka, then I found out, you ask people, so how do you make scones? And they say, like, we use 1 cup of flour. And then I said, how many grams is it? Yeah, it's 250. I said, no, it's not 250. It's 250 milliliter. That doesn't mean it's grams.
Yes.
And I just, even in America, people work with our metric volume, grams, liter. It's just easier. If you want to start with ounces and pounds and gallons of milk and pints, and that's just a disaster. So just get yourself a small scale and just weigh everything. If you get a cookbook, because that's also the thing. If you get a cookbook, for example, printed in America, and it says 1 cup of flour, that means the flour has to be sifted before you put it in the cup. And the difference is about 25 to 40 grams. So if you use 5 cups, you might be off by 100. and then the cake is going to be a disaster. But you don't know why, because nobody tells you that, right?
Yes, of course.
That's how it's done. Right?
Okay, so cups are not necessarily the best. Weigh it.
No. Weigh it. Even liquid. I mean, it's easy.
Yeah, it's true. It can be different. Okay, and then invest in an oven thermometer to make sure you're baking the proper temperature. That's also true because your ovens vary, I suppose.
I think most things you bake, especially bread, is a bit more forgiving because you can make it really, really hot. But if you do pastries, you do something like creme brulee. 5 degrees might be the difference between having a smooth creme brulee or having a ramekin full of scrambled eggs. Let's put it this way. So, and just because your oven you bought, it says it's 160, it doesn't mean it's 160. So an oven thermometer is very important. I would put it inside an oven. The same I would put, for example, a fridge thermometer inside a fridge. Because you might be surprised what the difference is.
Yeah. Okay.
That's definitely important.
That's fantastic. Okay. And then you say after you pour your cake batter into a pan, give it a few good taps. Use a chopstick to make circles in the batter from the inside to the outside, and it will bake more evenly. How does that work? You pour your
that I picked up actually in Asia. After people put the cake batter into a cake ring, then normally they knock it on the table and then that's it. But if you use like it's a pen now, but if you put it in the middle and then you make small circles, you get bigger and bigger and bigger. What you do is you level out the mixture of what's in the pan, and your big bubbles disappear. So you're gonna have a more even lift of the cake when it's baking. And it doesn't make such a big difference, but it does make a difference. And that's and if you do, and so far we did 4 already. And if you would, you sifted your flour, you would have had the scraper, you would have let them ripe your creme brulee. Already you have a better product by far.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Okay, I get it. So just a little bit of a okay. Those little silica packets that come in electronic shoes are perfect for keeping baked goods dry. Meringues, cookies, fondant. Those silica chips. So you just put them in with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's the name is. They're called silica gel blue. That's what I know.
Yeah.
And then you buy a computer, they're in sachets.
Yes.
If ladies buy the expensive leather shoes, they're always in the shoebox. And don't throw it away. So keep it because it draws out the moisture out of the air. That's why they are in the boxes. And if you put them like in a very small container with a small lid, you poke some holes in it, and you put this in a container, for example, where you store meringues.
Yes.
Because obviously we live in PE. Today it's very humid again. And we have very humid days, so your cookies might get a bit soft. So to keep anything crispy, cookies, meringues, that works like a bomb, but it's free. Again, you have to buy another shoes to get a lot of silica gel.
Excellent, Joey. Don't open them and put it in. Just
no.
Bag.
Yeah, you keep them there. No, don't eat them. Don't put them in the cookies. There aren't sprinkles, Gino. There aren't sprinkles.
They're not sprinkles, not silica sprinkles. Kathy Marsh is saying, thank you for the tips. She's loving it. Awesome. This is all free. You can send them each invoices, Ralph.
No, that's fine. I do this. It's a COVID discount.
Yeah. Oh, excellent.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Then it says your artisan chewy style crust needs steam for the first few minutes and then dry heat.
You just mentioned in the beginning, that I think when we went under lockdown, then obviously during the recreational cooking classes we also do. We can talk about this later. I know a lot of people, and then they asked me and said to me, let's do something over WhatsApp. So actually I made hot cross buns over Easter weekend with about 75 ladies over WhatsApp, a WhatsApp group. And then afterwards we made also a sourdough bread. And sourdough bread at the moment is one of the biggest fashions worldwide because it has health benefits. Making bread is very relaxing, but it's not that easy. You have to follow certain steps. And so I thought my next ideas to give us about bread. Some people know it, might don't. But I mean, I'm baking since I'm 15 years old. So, which is about 20 years now, right?
Yes.
You get that one. So the first one is, to bake bread, it's very simple. When you put bread in the oven, the first thing is that your skin outside is setting. So what you have to do is you have to put steam in there to keep the skin moist so it can actually expand. It's like putting moisturizer on your skin. That's the same thing, more or less. Just don't go in the oven, right? But so you give steam. This way the bread can rise. It gives a nice sheen to the crust, and it makes it nice and crusty. And that's the most important thing about bread. I mean, I'm German. I love bread. The best thing. But the crust is the best thing. You spray it in. You spray it with a bottle. It's good that you're asking. You can use a spray bottle, but the best thing what I would do is you put a small oven-proof dish in the bottom of your oven.
Yes.
And then once you put your bread in it, all you do is you put 4 or 5 ice cubes and you throw them into that tray. Because then also the water doesn't evaporate immediately if you put liquid water in, right?
Yes,
so you just put some ice cubes in, then you close the door, and then you have steam. And after about 20 minutes, you open the door, you let the steam escape what's left, and then the bread can dry out, and it makes it that delicious, beautiful crust.
That is such a good tip. I'm gonna so do that.
Yeah, do that. Yeah. Just don't burn your hands, okay? Just don't burn your fingers.
Okay, burn your hands. Yes, you open it and all your skin comes off your face. You mean?
Trust me, I have a few scars to share here. So
I'm sure. Watch out for the steam. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah,
and then milk washes in the last few minutes are good for a sandwich-style loaf. They give a glossy brown, soft crust. Oh.
The opposite. I don't want to have a crusty. I don't want to have a thick crust. I want to have a nice thin crust, but beautiful in color. Then the best thing is you brush it about 10 minutes before it comes out of the oven. You brush it with milk. That would be full-fat milk, and then full-fat milk. Obviously, milk contains natural sugar, and that turns into a beautiful, nice brown, not crust, but a sheen. And it's a nice finish, The eyes eat first. Remember that, right?
Yes, they do. They do. Yeah,
so it's important. You have to be ready.
That's fantastic. Oh, those are brilliant tips. These are brilliant.
That's good.
Tips.
I hope it works.
I'm loving this. Okay, and now use stone ground untreated flour and always sieve the flour. Always.
Okay, I keep that short, but because I don't want to offend any other. I don't want to offend any normal flour companies, But it's my preference. Because if you buy flour these days. If you go flour in Germany, flour is stipulated by law. So how it's grinded, how fine it is. It's not in South Africa. In South Africa, you buy a cake flour, and one week you need 110 grams, the next week you need 150, because the ash content is different. Now, if you use stone ground flour, it's going to be different, but the health benefits is there's no bleach in there. There is no extra enzymes in there. It's natural. It makes the best product, And in the world we live in, that we're all looking for healthy food for our children, for ourselves. Yeah. I think that's the right way to go. And you have to sift it because you never know what you're going to find. And I do not tell you what people have found in flour. So I'll leave it by that. But the main reason is you sift the flour because you have more aeration once you make your dough. Okay?
Yes, of course.
Sifting, trust me, sift your flour.
Okay.
We're going to
do that.
That's X-rated.
Okay. We've got 2 more to go here now. The one is bake a loaf of bread inside a cast iron pot with a lid, no steam needed.
That's right. So if you have a cast iron pot with a lid,
then
what you can do is perfect. Just make sure it doesn't have rubber handles, which is going to melt in the oven, obviously. But so you take your loaf of bread, you put it on a piece of paper, you lift the paper up, and you put it in the pot. And the pot obviously has to be in the oven. The pot has to be hot with the lid.
Yes.
You put straight away the lid on and you put it in the oven. Then you don't need the ice cubes or anything else, because basically the water we use to make the dough will evaporate inside the dough, but it can't get out. So it creates the steam by itself in the pot. And it gives you a really nice lift, a beautiful lift. The only thing that you have to do is you have to take the lid off about after half an hour to make sure that the bread can also get a beautiful golden crust color.
Yes. Okay. So you take it off and then you cook it with just no lid.
That's correct. So it's nice color.
The poiki's probably got a curve to it. So maybe you go for one of those
cast iron pot, anything like a black enamel pot. Just make sure it's oven proof. Yeah. And use your gloves. Don't forget to put gloves on.
Otherwise,
the skin. The skin isn't proof. Let's put it this way.
All right. Okay. And the last one here, I see leftover sourdough is perfect to make crackers, pancakes, or anything. Don't waste. Pan-fried sourdough, great for salad.
It's. I mean, I'm a member of a few sourdough groups over the internet, and it's amazing how many people. Your sourdough grows if you don't plan properly. After 1 week, you have 5 liter sourdough lying around. It grows. So then people they waste money, right? Basically, if anybody is listening and you have sourdough, you can always take sourdough as is. You don't have to add nothing to it. but you take your sourdough and you put it in the nicely oiled frying pan, and you would make an omelette nearly. You just pan fry sourdough and it becomes immensely crispy on both sides. It's soufflés up, and in there you can put cheese. I put in there cut-offs of the brie from the day before, like bratwurst, any small meat, spring onions, spices, and you really crispy. You cut it up, and then you can use it to eat with a salad. It's fantastic to eat with any kind of curries or stews, or you can pre-bake one and you bake one on your brie in tin foil. That's what I would suggest. That makes a nice, yeah.
Okay, no, that's lovely. Excellent, excellent. How was that? Incredible. I mean, I love those tips. I've used them already. The other thing that happened with Chef Ralph's interview was a bit behind the scenes. Is that he has the misfortune of being the only guest in 8 months to be left alone in Gino's spot while a cable was stood on or something here at our studio. So we managed to get back on again in literally I think 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes. But poor Chef Ralph had to sit and wait for me to come back, and I say thank you and salute to Chef Ralph for that. Let's have a look at what happened there.
Now, the funny part is that building on top of this building, so everything is like caramel color on the bottom. On top, that gray one, on that white one with the glass on top. This one actually wasn't there. It wasn't built. Gino went to the toilet. Gino, are you there? Gino. I don't know if anybody can hear me. It's probably Gino. I don't know. We had too much gin and tonic, maybe. Or Gino went out of electricity. Could also be. Is anybody in here who can send a message if we are still online? Because I don't even know. Gino? Modern technique. Gino? Should I go out? Where are you? Okay, so.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, our internet disappeared for a second. I got you.
I was entertaining myself here, so I don't know if anybody heard what I was saying. I said that baby Gino had too much gin and tonic.
Chef Ralph, I think the most terrifying part of that for him was the uncomfortable feeling that I might never come back. And he didn't even know if people were watching him. He wasn't quite sure. It could have all gone off. We don't know. And so he held it together. Thank you, Ralph, and cheers to you for that, saving my show for the little 3 minutes there. All right. So, and also keeping it going, because we didn't know we had to try and get back. We were rushing like a maniac to get back on again. Fortunately, it was all over within a minute or so. Right. So next up, Carol Anne Kelleher. Carol Anne didn't actually want to come on at all. We had to do a lot of bigging for her because she's just not. She surprisingly, she works in this industry, but she doesn't like things to focus on herself. And I found that with quite a few of the guests that I've had on, that they don't like to talk about themselves specifically. They prefer to be on stage in a sort of a persona. I really felt that Carol Anne, we broke down the wall of the stage persona or the radio personality, and we got into the real Carol Anne, which was fantastic. She's such a warm person. The only reason she agreed to come on the show was so that she could advertise the fact that there were 2 rescue animals that needed to be adopted, and I hope they have been. We are definitely going to do some more work with Carol Anne to talk about the animals, because animals formed the whole, most of the conversation in that evening. So let's have a look at Carol Anne.
But always the animals, always with the animals. Whenever there's an animals thing, Carol Anne is there.
I do care about, it's a funny thing because people, there's this kind of perception that you care about animals, you don't care about people, which is not true, because when you help an animal, often you help that person as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but she's got a little something that she's brought along. Oh, my soul.
This is Gracie.
Maybe we can get this camera on these guys. Let's see if we can get this other camera.
Say, look, Gracie. I picked these up this morning from Walmer Township. They've been bathed, they've been fed, and yep, they are doing really well. But of course, now we need to find them homes. So that's Gracie, the little girl, and this is the little Archie. You can rename them if you want to.
You know, these dogs have their personalities, and I was just we were talking about it because Jan van Memetje and myself did a whole thing on dogs, and
yes, oh come on, do it,
and their personalities. You know, so every breed has got an accent. You know, so I mean, you could do. I mean, I don't know what you think, but I've got a Weimaraner, and so Weimaraner is also German. I think you've got the Schnauzer.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a Schnauzer. What is a kind of animal? What is? I see Charlton saying woof woof. Yeah, bastard. You're online, yeah. Linda van der Westhuizen, I see you. That's from Queenstown.
Okay,
Lovely
awesome.
Queenstown couple. And they've got a beautiful dog, a boxer.
Okay.
They've got a boxer. Now, I thought a boxer would talk like this. So, Linda, your dog, I think, has got this kind of accent. Not too bright, you know, but very strong. And, protection is a big thing, but also really loving. And he doesn't like to, causing up a stir too much. Lot of barking and chewing things. Also, I like to have a nap every now and again. That's a box.
That's a box.
There you go. The Weimaraner, it's all food driven, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We found that with your Charlie. I don't know if he's part Weimaraner, because when I looked at the picture, I thought maybe Labrador and maybe Weimaraner.
And maybe not.
I don't know. So Schnauzer. I've got some info on the Schnauzer. I want you to tell me if this is true. Okay. It says here, Schnauzers are highly intelligent and brilliant family companions.
Oh, yes.
So,
They're wonderful family companions.
And uniquely handsome, says even aristocratic. So that means like, is your one aristocratic at all?
No, she's not really.
No. Okay, that's a miss. That's a devotion to the families. And it says here it's got quite a brain on it.
They can, but not my Katie.
Oh, no, she's a bit doof.
No, she's not doof. She's just like...
And just Schnauzers got the hair. What's thing about Schnauzers is that it doesn't
They
molt.
don't shed hair. They're great for children who've got allergies. Unlike Charlie.
Which Charlie are you
vacuum
talking
every day.
Charlie
No, Charlie at home.
Wendy Tompkins says I must do Gypsy. I've got a dog. I've got a border collie. Her name is Gypsy.
Beautiful.
And she's a working dog. Working. And they say the working dogs, they don't worry about food. You know what I mean? Don't worry about feeding them because they're not interested. If there's a stick or a ball, much more interesting than eating. They'd rather starve to death if they can go fetch a stick. Whereas the Weimaraner wants always the food. Always the food. Snoot the food all the time. Easily trainable. I see it says high set ears. Has your got when cropped?
A Schnauzer.
Yeah, Schnauzer. No. It says here they carry themselves with great deal of self-importance.
Yeah, my Katie has got a heart murmur now, so she has to have a pram, and she quite fancies herself in the pram. Yes.
Right. So it's that vibe.
And the looks I get from some people. And she's got a heart murmur,
She's got a heart murmur, so she's got to be in the pram. I can just imagine that, honestly. And so Jeff Applewhite says I must do a Labrador. I don't know. Labrador is like, it's always looking for fun. Oh, I'm going to jump in the pool. I'm coming to jump in the pool as well. You know what I mean? And they just follow. They'll follow you anyway.
Wonderful.
With the beagle. The beagle. I don't know about beagles. I think the beagle will be French. Maybe the beagle got big ears. I don't know if it is a French breed. Maybe it rip all over my ears. Every time I move forward, my legs go in ears and then I fall over. Oh, Jack Russell! Oh, Jack Russell got their shoe rounds. Millie's got what? You know?
Very energetic.
Yes,
dogs,
energetic. And they were trained, of course, to find rodents and things.
As with schnauzers.
As schnauzers as well. Also, for some rodents, it picks them up. But I believe the big schnauzers also were big hunting dogs as well.
Well, you get the miniature, the standard, and the giant.
You see that?
Yeah, the giant are giant.
Yeah, big
schnauzers. Big schnauzers.
Big schnauzers got that kind. It's going to eat you alive. Elise Fish is online. Hello, Elise from Jersey.
Oh my word! Hello, Elise.
No, that border collie. I told you about the border collie. They speak like this, and they're always looking for fun or something to do. And if they're in work mode, then they're working. If they're in loving mode, then they're loving. And if they want to eat, then they eat quickly and they get it over with. All right. Charl Leslie's here. There we go.
Charl.
Started reading news on my Sun Breakfast Show.
That's right. I will never forget that, Charl. And you made me feel so. I was so nervous. It was like the same time as before I went live with TV. And we didn't have teleprompters for the TV. You had to learn everything. And it was like count you down in your ear, and then you're alive and going. My heart was beating. I actually thought everyone's going to hear it. The listeners, they're going to hear it. And Charl was amazing. And in those days as well, you could smoke in the studio. Do you remember, Charl? And everyone,
everybody's smoking in the studio. Oh, that is so classic. I know Charl has been a legend. In fact, I know that he normally drops in and tells an embarrassing story.
I know. Charl, you must know so much about so many. You should actually write a book.
There's Mimi Rupp saying the Maltese. Oh, the Maltese probably, like a northern accent. I don't know. Can you do the northern accent? Maybe like
Yorkshire accent.
That's
right.
No,
I don't think. No,
that's quite close.
Is it really?
Yes, that's quite close. That sounds like a Maltese. Could be that.
I don't know.
Or it could be poodle, huh? Le poodle. Maybe the French. I don't like to walk on the grass. I would love to pee on the carpet. Oh, this is a Maltese. Ridgeback. Ridgeback's probably like Australian, isn't it? We can take anything. We'll eat you alive. We eat you alive. We eat start at the feet first, eat you up so you can still talk while we're eating you. Oh, my soul. Animals, I just love it, And I mean, you've been, like I said, you've been into the dogs and cats. You've got cats as well.
A cat called Chairman Mao. I did not name him Chairman Mao.
Is he quite?
He meows a lot.
Chairman Meow.
I adopted him for my ex from Cat Care, and he came with the name Bentley. And then Gary decided that he mowed so much that we were going to call him Chairman Mao. So his name is Chairman Mao.
Chairman Meow. Now, I'd always ask this towards the end of the show. I always ask our guests about their most embarrassing moments, and perhaps at MC work that you've done. You do a lot of MC stuff.
I used to. Nobody hires me.
Carol Anne is a brilliant MC, by the way. Just in case anybody wants one.
I'm past my shelf life.
No, you're not at all. You're brilliant on stage, and you've got the confidence. She always looks so bloody brilliant on stage. And she's always got that. If you want a serious awards that's for your long service, then that's the one.
That sounds so boring. Don't listen to him.
No, but I'm the one who jumps on the way in the woman's clothes and outfits. Charl says he's staying out of this one, so it's classy for you. I'll see you about the on-the-go dress fiesta.
Oh, yes. We were just about at the Opera House, and we were just about to go on stage. And okay, it's time to get into my dress, and I'd left it at home. And no, my Gary was amazing. He had that dress back in a flash. Yeah, no, it was.
And you got a nervous moment without a dress.
Yeah.
What were you wearing?
Worked
just
out.
Khakis and jeans.
Speaking of that, when we were doing, it was a Peter Dirk Ace play. He had written a comedy called The Rise and Fall of Empress Bonaparte. And I was in it, but I can't remember what role I was playing, but it was period costumes. We all had you know, long trains and everything. And Martin Lemaitre and we were standing there, and we had to make this kind of an exit. And I turned around, I said, I don't know what I had to say. And I turned around, and Martin stood on my train. There I was in my knickers.
On stage,
the Alexander Theatre, I think it was in Johannesburg.
Oh,
yes,
cool.
yeah.
Well, welcome to the club. I've been on the stage in my knickers before as well.
You like it.
Oh, no.
What You're Watching has become an institution here on Gino Spot with Derryn Fuller. Look at her, she's lovely. Derryn is a quirky maniac. We found she over the last quite a few months, she's done our movie What You're Watching spot, and she's always made it interesting. She's always really gone to the ends of the earth to find all sorts of props, and she's got quirky little things that she brings on every week to make sure that it's always interesting. And she's always got a sort of an out of the box look at how watching movies and what's on Netflix. She always keeps a good eye on it. So she just recently had COVID. She fought the way through. She works for the blood bank, so she's always giving of herself. She's been an absolute pleasure to have online, and so we're going to show you just a few excerpts from her What You're Watchings.
Hello, how are you?
Lovely, absolutely lovely. There's some beautiful horns that you have.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm supposed to be Maleficent, but like I said, I kind of look kudu.
A kudu.
But an evil kudu.
Oh, yeah.
The perfection, guys, the perfection. I hope it's still on Netflix, is the weirdest thing you will ever see. Like, you think one thing's happening and then another thing happens. It's about these girls that come from this really prestigious academy. The main character learns violin, but she had to leave because her mother was sick. Now she wants to come back to the fold. And you just really, that movie, honestly, it was absolutely crazy. But watch it, the perfection, it's messed up. Okay, I don't want to take up the whole evening, so I'll just give brief mentions to the platform, to 1408, one of the Stephen King short films, amazing, John Cusack, Hotel Room, 13 Ghosts, Insidious, Creep. Dude, this is such a weird movie. You start watching it and you're like, I'm sorry, this is a badly made documentary. It's not. It's creepy as hell. And Good Night, Mommy. Good Night, Mommy. It's actually an Austrian film, but it's creepy as hell. These two twins, their mom comes back, presumably from having plastic surgery, but they don't think that it's actually their mom in the house with them. Okay, so as you can see, everything is, my decor tonight is Stephen King. Anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely adore Stephen King. My main dream in life is to become the female Stephen King, to become a horror writer. This man is brilliant. Stephen King, guys, look, I love him. You should love him too. And please, if you want to know anything about any of his films, anything, any of his books, you want to learn something, just let me know. Because, of course, it is October, thus Halloween, I actually have some horrors for you. Unfriended. It's on Netflix. It's literally called Unfriended. I think it's from 2014. And I was not willing to watch it first because I thought, wow, this is really lame. Unfriended on Facebook. So I actually gave it a skip for quite a few years. And over the weekend, it came up on my Netflix. And I thought, why not give it a shot? And guys, it's actually damn scary. It's scary and it's actually quite horrific. I mean, it's actually very well done because everything is done from the perspective of you as the person, because, you know, you're basically on your computer, you're on your Facebook, you're on your chat, you're on Skype. So it's actually done very well because you feel that you are the victim in and of themselves. But it also technically has a good messaging. It is anti-cyberbullying, but look, all I'm saying is it's an excellent horror film, but it's a tiny bit shocking, but it was very, very good. So if you like that sort of thing, and it is October, it's Halloween, I would suggest watching Unfriended. Then, I don't know if you guys know Blumhouse. So Blumhouse is basically, it's a producer that produces a lot of independent horrors. So becoming even more popular now, I found one of his films on Amazon, which was called The Lie. Guys, wow, this movie is honestly, the premise is already amazing. It's basically these two parents, they're divorced and they have this one daughter. And over the weekend, the father's taking his daughter to a ballet camp and she sees her friend on the way there. So they pick her up and then they stop on the side of the road to go to the bathroom and the friend pushes the friend over the bridge. So essentially she kind of willingly murders her. But then from there, it just becomes this amazing snowball effect of what the parents are willing to do for the child. And wow, guys, really, it is such an incredible film. It's done so well. It's Peter Skarsgård. Wow, it's such a fantastic film. It's a horror in terms of there's no paranormal aspect, but it's just basically showing you what parents are willing to do to protect their child. Wow. It was, it was amazing. Good. Okay, so aside from that, I know that I've mentioned Bly Manor before. I just really want to reiterate how amazingly fantastic that show is. Guys, please, if you didn't listen to me last time, please watch it. As well as Evil, which I know I mentioned the last time, but I actually finished it now yesterday. And it's such a good show. The writing is actually superb and the premise is really fantastic. So if you haven't given it a shot, please do. And also, goodness knows why they released it on a Monday, but the second part of Unsolved Mysteries came out yesterday. So guys, I don't know if you love, okay, I don't love crime, but I mean, crime mysteries. If you love crime mysteries as much as I do, oh my gosh. I watched the first episode last night and it was incredibly beguiling. Please do expect more horror since it is October. So from next week, I'm going to be introducing more scary things for you to watch. And I probably won't be wearing this Disney thing. Oh, here's a cute chameleon.
Oh, you got a toy. Yay.
I know, right? I know. Look, it goes like this.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yes.
Right, Derryn Fuller, amazing. There have been times when I've had actual gigs every now and again, during COVID, and I had to fly to do an online streaming gig up in Joburg, in Limpopo, Nelspruit. We were up there in Nelspruit, and so I couldn't do my show one week, and Derryn couldn't make it either because she also had come down with COVID, and so we got Greig Coetzee kindly offered to pretend to be me. You see, so we did Gino's spot, and people were very confused. I think in the beginning they were like, "Yeah, all right, is this Gino? We look a little bit similar, you know. If I put my head over here, I don't know, maybe the teeth." But Greig Coetzee, amazing, an incredible playwright and a writer and comedian, incredible comedian as well, all the way from London. Pretended to be me the whole night, but not only did he pretend to be me, he also pretended to be Derryn Fuller.
How's it? Gino Fabry coming to you live from Port Elizabeth. Yeah, I know, look a little bit different, but this is all latex. Excellent makeup. Thank you. All Gary Hemming, center stage. There is no expense spared. You won't believe this. He's dressed me. Tonight I'm disguised as a pretentious playwright. Next up, we've got Derryn Fuller doing Watcha watching. So here I am, Derryn Fuller. Tonight it's just this Derryn Fuller here from Port Elizabeth, definitely not from London. And tonight I'm going to leave the boys out of it because tonight I want to talk about what us girls should be watching and some really good things that I've been watching recently. One of them is the miniseries Unbelievable. Now, this will be Toni Collette as you have never ever. Hello, Wendy. Hi. So there we go. Hello. Oh, and we got Kathy Marsh on the line as well. Now, girls, what I'm going to be telling you tonight are the things that you should be watching on miniseries. A great miniseries to watch is Unbelievable. Toni Collette channeling Clint Eastwood. The thing I love most about this series is the strength of the female characters. It's based on a news report about a serial rapist, a true story, in fact. But what really makes the series is the strength of the female characters and female cops as you've never seen them before. For me, it was really rewriting the cop genre in the way that these female characters came to life. Another one that I really like in terms of the strong female characters at the center of it is Little Fires Everywhere with Reese Witherspoon. She produces it and takes the central role, playing a baddie for once, actually, in the end. But also some incredibly strong female characters. And for those of you who have been watching American politics recently with Black Lives Matter, no matter what side of that equation of that particular movement you may find yourself, this one is incredibly. No, this is not Gino. What are you talking about, Facebook user? This is Derryn. So the great thing about Little Fires Everywhere is the way it really gets under the surface of what is happening in American society now, especially the interface between Black and white Americans. And then some really good domestic drama at the heart of it, parent-child stories, mother-daughter especially. Very strong series. That's Little Fires Everywhere, featuring Reese Witherspoon. Another great one that is multi-season. I've only watched the first season of it. Is This Is Us. Which charts the fortunes of a family over a number of generations. And what's great about this series is the way it jumps for any of us who have a certain age. And I have, you won't believe that I'm the wrong side of 50. I haven't had any work done. But for those of us who are of a certain age and remember the 80s, This Is Us is a great series to watch because it flashes forwards and backwards between the 80s and modern and present day, looking at different members of the same family over different decades, from the 80s through the 90s and the noughties and right up to present day. So that's another great one to watch. And then finally, I'm going to throw at you a movie that I saw ages ago that very few people I've ever come across have ever seen. So it's one to hunt for online, and that is Things You Can Tell Just by Looking at Her. Things You Can Tell Just by Looking at Her. It's got an amazing cast: Holly Hunter, Glenn Close, Ally McBeal. Can't remember, Callista Flockhart, I think her name was. Yes, Callista Flockhart. An amazing cast, and it's 4 stories of 4 different women who each get to be the protagonist in one of the stories, and then the other 3 women become minor players in that particular woman's story. So you see 4 women who live in the same town, and it's 4 stories about those 4 women. It's kind of I suppose if you think of something like Desperate Housewives, the way it goes into the public face of people and their private lives within the same community, but a much more hard-hitting look at the personal lives of these 4 women. So those are a few things to look at. That's Unbelievable, which is a series about a serial rapist that's investigated by female cops in America, based on a true story. Little Fires Everywhere, which featuring Reese Witherspoon, which looks at strong domestic drama that confronts the issues between Black and white Americans today. And This Is Us, which is a series that flashes forwards and backwards between the 80s and now, exploring the same family over different generations. And then finally, a movie that you'll really have to Google to get hold of, where you can watch it, is Things You Can Tell Just by Looking at Her. What do you mean, Brian May? Are you telling me I look like a man? Bit of an insult, Warren G. Anyway, Gary, let's get back to Gino.
Michelle Brown. Michelle Brown, amazing. She is the epitome, the absolute benchmark in poise and elegance, professionalism, suaveness. I don't know. That is Michelle Brown, and she's well loved. She knows absolutely everybody countrywide. I'm sure if you were to walk in around Harare, Nairobi, Cairo, there would be somebody who said, "Oh, hello, Michelle, how are you doing?" That would be Michelle Brown, and she's had an amazingly colorful life. And so what we try to do, in true Gino and Gary fashion, we tried to get behind and see if there was any wild Michelle Brown behind that castle wall that she's got, you know. And so we thought we'd try and find out, ask as many questions as we could to try and get around there and see what it was. But let me tell you, we couldn't do it because it doesn't exist. Michelle Brown is the absolute epitome of suave and elegance. And let me tell you, she wasn't going to let that drawbridge down to let us get inside there. No, she wasn't going to let us destroy her social standing. I know, I understand. We absolutely love Michelle Brown, and she is who she is. She's the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look. No, Gary and I came up with a whole lot of questions here that we're just going to skim around, you know, and I know, you know, in typical Gary fashion, he doesn't want to really know too much about the PR and your things, although we're going to get to that. But he always asks questions like, "What is your guilty pleasure?"
Eating sour sweets from Spar.
Really, those sour ones, the sour worms.
Oh my God, I love them. I love them. Yeah, like a whole planet of them. I love
them. Sour worms. Well, now people know what to buy you if they want to get on the right side of Michelle Brown.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
So you take those bribes. Oh no. And you know, we were talking yesterday about the fact that relationships, for me, with friends, people, family, that is what life is about. Because
absolutely,
what
Gino.
else is there? You know what I mean? And it, I think you're testament to that as well with the way that you work, and everything is about building trust with those people, and coming into that is that integrity again.
Yes, absolutely, and treating everyone with respect and courtesy. I don't care if they are Prince Edward, yes, I did. Yes, I did. At a dinner, a black tie dinner at the boardwalk quite a few years ago, Brian.
Yes.
And I was the MC, and I did have to tell him where to sit.
Sit there, Eddie.
But about 5 years later, I was invited to thank you, Joel. We know you, my little brother. You don't have to keep saying so.
Give it to her, Joel. Give it to her.
But let me tell you, my brothers are incredibly successful in their own businesses. But about 5 years after the Prince Edward and Sophie of Wessex were at the boardwalk for a black tie dinner for Rotary, the Rotary Club of PE, I was invited to attend their lunch in Grahamstown, and I was seated right next to Prince Edward. And I must say, he was absolutely, truly fabulous. Yeah.
Really, hey? Oh wow! You've met a hang of a lot of famous people along your long career. Jennifer Shaw, one piece of advice you can give us that you use to take control of work around any obstacles in a high stress environment? Sure, that's quite a long question, but and I'm looking around my camera to see it. What is that one piece? Is there one piece of advice you can give to Jennifer there?
Yeah, I think, Jennifer, over my years and things go wrong, is to learn to remain calm outwardly, although inwardly you want to pull up and die, but to remain calm. And because you have that incredible team, Gino, that you can call on people to very quietly and calmly behind the scenes help you out.
Yes. Sort those things out.
Sort them out and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, see Melvin Iverson saying he's learned so much from you as well.
Oh, that's so kind.
Are you a people person like that, or do you like your me time?
Well, both, you know. I mean, I love meeting people of all genres, of all levels. I absolutely love it, and I love to tell my students that the security guard at the boom gate at the big corporate where you're going to see the CEO is also a person and deserves as much courtesy and respect as the CEO in his beautiful office. And I do live by that. So if you want respect, you need to be respectful of others, and that's very, very important. Yeah, it's absolutely true, and it's like people are people. That's such an important thing that you just said there. Even the CEOs, and they are just people. They are people, and they respond in the same way. So often I always say the boss often gets too much praise all the time, so you've got, as a boss, you've also got to realize, and I'm sure you were the same, everybody wants to blow smoke up your ass, if you're paying the salaries, so you've got to keep an eye on that. But Gino, you know what, that's what also when we get celebrities here to PE, and a lot of the time they're at the boardwalk for an event and they're staying there, I always ask them very kindly and nicely if they would come into the back of house to the porters or into the kitchen and to meet the people, because I say these are the people who are always behind the scenes and who never get to meet people like you, and please would you do me the honor? And you know what, 10 times out of 10 they agree, and it's just so important, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it your favorite TV series and what you're watching at the moment?
Oh, Law and Order Special Victims Unit every night.
The police stuff. Do you have a celebrity crush?
You know, I'm too old to have a celebrity crush, but and people who are watching and who know me know that I have a saying, and I truly stick to this. I've never been able to be a groupie, and I always say that. And even Oprah, I mean, she also has to go to the bathroom. So we all go to the bathroom, and just some people are richer and more famous. But I have to tell you that, and I treat everyone with respect, but I have to tell you that Sia Kolisi is my celebrity crush. I love him. He was at school with, when my daughter was, brother-sister schools, and they were very, very friendly. They went on Euro tour together, and they've remained friends. And of course, he knows my son from being at the same school. But when I see him, and I've seen him a few times when he's been in PE, he always says, "Hello, ma'am." And I'm like, seriously, you are not at school anymore. But I do have a crush on him, because I'm so incredibly proud, not only of what he's achieved, but how he is so proudly South African and proudly PE. And, when I see him, I just want to hug him. He's fabulous.
Yeah, your most embarrassing moment during, maybe at a function, maybe at work, maybe not.
I tell you, that was during the Soccer World Cup, and someone was playing Serbia, and our security was very, very tight, and we kept being hammered about security and not letting people be on the stands with tripods and cameras. And one of my volunteer teams in the media section came up to me before the game and said, "Michelle, there's someone in a tracksuit randomly with a tripod, and he's filming from level 5. And I went up and I told him to remove his tripod, and I got security to remove it, only to be told that he was the Serbian coach. So I got into quite a bit of trouble for that. But I take it, I accept it, I claim if I'm wrong. And I had to go and apologize and bow down and scrape and put my hands together, and it was fun.
I'm so glad you said that, because that is so important. If you do bugger up, just say sorry and really be genuine about it, because you are,
And because we can't all be perfect, so we do make mistakes. And like I said to him very nicely, if you had worn possibly your accreditation around your neck, because by the way, where is it? And he said, it's in my pocket of my tracksuit. And I said, well, I don't have eyes to see through your pocket. And so I could not see your accreditation. Hence, I just see someone in a blue tracksuit with a tripod filming the field. I was not to know you were the coach. I humbly apologize. I love you. Welcome to PE.
Oh dear.
That's what I said.
As a poised professional businesswoman, because you are that person, Michelle. You always, when I first met you, I think I was probably terrified. I thought I better do everything absolutely perfectly, because this woman is going to give me such cuck if I don't.
Good. I'm glad.
He says, but now he wants to know, is there a party, Michelle?
I'm not much of a party girl, Gino. I leave that to my kids. I'm not. I can do the bus stop. I'll do the Jerusalem. Anywhere you ask me to. But no, I'm not a party girl.
So it helps you to keep that poise, helps you to keep sort of focused and sane as well, and it doesn't let you have it. It's often a safer route. On the other hand, I have to jump in.
Listen, when I'm with friends, I laugh and I'm as fun as the next one. But there's a time and a place, and I don't fall down drunk. I don't drink, so I don't ever get drunk.
Now, how does a person who doesn't drink head up a wine club? Tell me that.
Well, I organize the logistics of the wine club, and I put it all together, and I take the orders thereafter. But I don't have to taste the wine. That's for the winemaker to do.
And they are brilliant tastings. I love it.
At SFW for 4 years as a wine advisor, and I used to conduct wine tastings.
But you never tasted yourself?
A sip.
A little sip. Oh, so you did a little sip here and there. Oh, well, you really shouldn't have, Michelle. That is just out of the... Your favorite place that you've ever visited? Any specific place that you enjoy going to take a break or?
Well, I love Plet in South Africa. And my favorite place is the Cayman Islands in the Caribbean, where my son lives. It just has a special place in my heart. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised about that. But so you say, but in Plet, you enjoy Plet here. Keerboom's?
Well, I love Plet. Yes, and you can ask my husband that as we drive over that hill coming into Plet, and you see that beautiful Beacon Island Hotel at the top, and then you start your way down. Well, my husband thinks my voice changes, and I become the ultimate kugel. And I'm like, oh my God, we are almost there. I'm like fainting.
Classic.
I love
it. Any phobias? Anything that you like freak you out?
Spiders freak me out. Freak me out. And claustrophobia, small spaces.
Small spaces.
That I can fly, but to go into that toilet in the airplane freaks me out.
Oh, really? Oh, my word. Okay. Yeah, that's quite small there.
Yeah. And I don't like to go in lifts. I don't like to go in lifts. So if I have a meeting with a client, like Rand Merchant Bank is a client, and they're in that beautiful big FNB building in Newton Park, it freaks me out to go in those lifts. And so I meet them at a coffee shop.
Oh, really? Well, there's always ways around it, That's
and there's always a coffee shop somewhere.
Exactly. And anything that really pisses you off?
Oh, when people clone you, I think it's childish and pathetic.
That person's gonna get hell.
Really try and be a little innovative, darling.
Yeah, no, honestly. Yeah. Viv says, me too, spiders. I
see.
I think that is quite a common thing. Oh, what is that? What on earth is that? I don't know what that is. Oh, is that a spider? Oh my God.
Oh my God, I can't even look at the screen. No.
Oh, my soul. Oh, Gary,
Okay.
you know what? Since we started talking about spiders, that's what he's been looking for online. And he's laughing away.
No,
because,
Gary, seriously, I can't.
you know, honestly. The strumpets. The strumpets. Thank you, Michelle Brown. That's obviously we love Michelle Brown. But the strumpets are next. We've got Gino Spot is about connection. It's about connection, and groups of friends are always, whether it's online or whether they've been friends for so many years, they build up these beautiful relationships where if one of them's in trouble, there's always another 5 or 6 or 7 to phone, to get hold of them, to help out. And I've seen that it's been a thread throughout Gino's Spot where I know the girls from the Vagina Monologues with Michelle and Carol Anne and Greig Coetzee, they also get together a lot. Although these book clubs, particularly the girls as well, you know, the book clubs, the guys get into cycling and running and that sort of thing. They make those connections, and they're so important because relationships are, for me, are what life's about. And our strumpets over here, as you can see, they are crazy ladies. They always get together whenever they can, and they're very active on social media. But you can be sure that if one of them ends up in trouble, the others are all over them and helping out. And of course, Keith over here was the pimp for all these trumpets. I don't know if I'd like that job, Keith. You've got something cut out for you there. So the ladies are all best of friends. And ladies and gentlemen, we have with us the pimp of the strumpets tonight. We brought him in because Keith Fourie, who is with, of course, the Spurs in town, NPE here, he's always been the pimp of the strumpets, the one person who's always been around. And I think you probably met a lot of them before they became the strumpets indeed. Keith, tell us how it all started.
Yeah, such an apt name. I never quite set out to be a pimp, but by nature, that's the way that these girls made it feel. Absolutely fantastic. Group of girls that are full of fun, absolutely love live entertainment, love life,
yes,
and love flirtatious behavior, pushing it to limits sometimes that are highly questionable, and that's where the pimp steps in, and you got to try to take control of it to help them protect themselves. I better be careful now. She had these wonderful set of knockers, so she automatically became the cleavage strumpet because these things were always on display, and everybody wanted to have a good look at these things. And some guys, were asking for more sort of things. So automatically, the title fitted. Carol. And there we had this combination of these girls, and together they formed a friendship, raising kids and enjoying life, all from totally different fields of life. And I had to take them around town and be their pimp and protect them against the evil onslaughts of strange surroundings, and at the same time they kept on bringing these guys into my world that they thought might be suitable, and I had to rate these guys, and most awkward things. But this has carried on for decades, and long may it continue, and the friendship between us has just grown and grown. And there's the original tequila drinker.
Yes, I think I should introduce Carol Jean.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Keith. And I know I met Carol Jean. I can't even remember the year because it must have been in the early 2000s somewhere. At one of the shows, must have been one of the early shows, possibly Strictly Party Time, where there was a big party going on, and Carol Jean was right in the middle of it. But we discovered that we knew each other actually online as well. We'd come together and done a little. It was the MyPE website, and we were members of that. So I'd got to know sort of an early baptism to the strumpets with MyPE. And when I met Carol, she was always just so full of life and so full of party. She just always in a good space. And I'm a positive person. I love that. And I think that was our connection, right, Kelly Jean?
Yeah, but we are Kelly Gino.
Yes, we are.
Well, there we go.
Hello, everyone. And now we Pat Greaves. I think we can start off. We can probably start off about for the beginnings of the strumpets. I want to find out where did you guys get that? Well, obviously the name, must have come from something.
We were sitting we were lying on the beach. A few of us were lying on the beach mid-morning, let's say, but the aeroplane had flown over, so we were drinking our Savannah.
We'll tell them that. We'll tell the crowd that.
And I'd been reading a Martina Cole book, and they'd been speaking about these group of ladies in the book called Strumpets, and I thought to myself, wow, that's such a strong name, and we're such strong ladies, and so we kind of got that name together.
Lying on the beach.
We were lying
on the beach.
Drinking photos. Nikki had a phone and we were taking photos and we were posing and doing all kinds of things. And one of us said, you're acting like a bunch of carts. And we said, no. Tini said strumpets. And we thought, what is strumpets? What does it mean? And it was a little bit better than tarts. So we stuck to that.
Okay, so strumpets got together on the beach, decided you were going to form this thing called the strumpets, and you probably didn't know what it was at the time.
It was never really anything formal. It just kind of happened.
We were very innocent, Gino.
Chicken Clary. Look at it.
There we go.
Very innocent, indeed.
I'll also do that then,
We were very innocent in those days.
Oh, what are you drinking, Tini?
Tequila.
Okay, I'll just have to do the bottle now because I can't keep pouring. It's not ridiculous. So I'll just...
Okay. There you go.
A story from Keith. There was a story that Keith had about one of the tours, and I'm trying to.
Let me tell you about one of the afternoons. A local tour. We decided to go and do a bit of a pub crawl.
Yes.
And we decided that we'd start on the far western suburbs at the Three-Legged Pig, and on arrival, there's a group of Harley Davidson riders and everything like that. And the girls had dolled themselves up as they always do for the day. And, one of the guys knew me. He said, Keith, who are these girls? I said, no, they're the strumpets. And I said, I'm not sure what that means, but, how does it work? I said, well, I'm their pimp. And you go and find out what the word strumpet means. And in the meanwhile, they drink tequila. And before we knew it, there's a round of tequilas on the table. We then moved to a wedding that these guys had taken us to at a little pub up the road called the Russian Bear. I don't know if it still exists, but we kind of were invited into this wedding where they brought more tequila. And then we headed off back towards Central, and we stopped at the Kegan, whatever it is, in Sunridge Park. And there was an 80th birthday party, and the old guy said to me, he said, look, I don't know how you do it, but it's absolutely fantastic. But what do the girls drink? I said, no, tequila. We worked our way down Cape Road. Eventually, we ended up, I think it was at the Anchor Pub, still called it that day, around about 12 o'clock in the evening. And I tallied up that Tina and Carol had each had 28 shots of tequila. And I looked at
Still
this and I said,
standing.
how's this humanly possible? I wasn't drinking any alcohol at that stage. And I said, how's this possible? But there the girls were still going hammer and tongs, acting like absolute superb strumpets, and guys following us from pub to pub to hopefully get some action with one of these strumpets. And my job was to try and save them from themselves. Whether they liked it or not, I still don't really know. But yeah, we are.
You know, as fans, you guys have been fantastic. You know, coming from a musician myself, always been behind the drums, and it's just always nice when we know there's a full table of strumpets. The party is halfway there already. We don't have to do a lot for the audience. And so I've brought along Donovan.
Donovan!
Donovan! Our guitar player all the way from Dubai.
Ooh,
or
a man
Abu
and an
Dhabi.
instrument. Oh my word. I so wanted to be your guitar many times.
No, Carol, you wanted to be his strings. You wanted to be the strings, Carol.
So Donnie, I know these guys are famous also for throwing their underwear.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was her. It was her.
I'm not sure it was ever technically like their underwear. I do know that they would go and buy like massive knickers and throw them at the
No! Don't give us secrets away.
At least I hope they would joke massive knickers and not your massive knickers.
Well, guys, I'm gonna interrupt you right there because I've got proof of that. I'm gonna hit a video for you just to have a look quickly of Donovan.
One night after one of these shows, I'm watching a bit of late night rugby, and I've got these girls shouting at me, come take photos, and they're all in my swimming pool, stark naked. I'm thinking, no, I can't come take photos now. I'm watching rugby. And I said, at what point in my life had this sort of rugby taken priority of taking photos of, so those are the two extremes, but somewhere in the middle lies this amazing love for each other.
I want to say there's a photograph of us where we're all lying on the grass. All five of us lying next to each other, where we're lying on the grass like this, and I think that's just probably the most special moment, the most special photo of our love for each other, our friendship for each other, our closeness for each other. I'll always be there for each other. Yeah, that's a special moment. That photo was a special moment for me.
I must say that we used to, like years ago, we would all like take our kids, cozies, and we'd go off to park and we'd stick up an umbrella and we'd all lie there, and it didn't really go like pulling, any time. And somebody would have snacks, and there was always a dog or something available, and it was just so comfortable. And so, I mean, you used to just look for Tina's umbrella, because Tina's a beach trumpet. She would always be there, so you would know that it didn't matter when or when.
Where's that umbrella? Still.
The green umbrella was always there.
The billabong umbrella.
So I miss that umbrella.
Tina's there, and you'd like make your way to the umbrella, and then you'd like sit in, and like it was just so lekker. And the kids were younger then, and they were all like surfing, and then like somebody would check somebody else's child out. It was just like awesome lekker days.
I just love all the center stage shows where I used to book my seat table. Thank you to Wendy.
Yes,
She always
Wendy,
gave us up front. So we could be the upfront groupies, like the oldest groupies in town, probably. And that was just our favorite. And we used to make a jol of it, no matter what. And then, of course, also my 50th birthday party, which was out at St. Francis, and you guys were doing a show there. And we all went on a bus. Keith organized, the gift bump organized it for us, 50 guests, and even Gary Hemmings coming with us.
There we go. There's our sea table.
Going with us. And besides the fact that you had a 2-hour show, you did an extra hour just for me, for my birthday. And I'll never, ever forget that.
I remember
Carol,
that.
you're about to be 60, so we're looking for a repeat.
Here's another.
I have watched these girls from close and from far, and I look forward with keen interest. And one of them touched on it now. I think they've all worked out that now is the moment. They've all had massive changes in their lives, taken on the challenge and made their lives better. Out of the darkest of doldrums at times, they've always taken their lives and made it better. I think it's a valuable lesson to learn there. And they've used each other and the love for each other to make life better. So that's what I've seen. And it's been such an honor and remains such an honor to love them all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Strumpets, I love the strumpets. Kisses to all of you. We've had incredible. The last 2 shows as well. Please, if you haven't seen them, we interviewed the Scribante brothers, Silvio and Aldo, and the father Celso, who are long-time family friends, as well as the fact that they are so well known in PE because of the motor racing. And they've got we had some incredible footage as well of the Lamborghinis and all the old cars that they had in Formula One as well. It was great. If you're a petrol head, you're gonna love that one. So go back and have a look. And also the last one we had was Alan Weyer, one half of Boet en Swaar, which was absolutely phenomenal. There's so many people want to hear his stories. So there's a whole bunch of Boet en Swaar stories there, and a whole lot of connection happening, which was just the best. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got the competition time now. We've got competition time, and I've got a song. I want the name of the song and the artist in the comments. It's not an easy one. This one, it's not an easy one. I'll give you a clue. It is a South African band. It was written by an overseas chappie, South African band. I want the name of the band and the name of the song in one comment on the bottom, and you can win an entire case of Fitch and Leeds delivered to your door by our dear Justin, depending if you're in PE or in East London or wherever you are. Even if you're in England, you can get it. All right, so now I'm going to head over to the drum cam, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the name of the artist and the song in the comments.
As I went out one morning to breathe the air around Tom Paine, I spied the fairest damsel that ever did walk in chains. I offered her my hand, she took me by the arm, and I knew that very instant she was meant to do me harm. this moment. I told her with my voice, said she did not wish to. Said but you have no choice. I beg you, sir, she pleaded from the corners of her mouth. I will secretly accept you, and together we will fly south. Came running from across the field, shouting at this lovely girl and commanding her to yield. And she was letting go her grip. Tom Paine did come. I'm sorry, sir, he said to me. I'm sorry for what she's done.
Show's over and it's time to say goodbye. All right. Lovely to have you aboard tonight. Thank you for joining us on Gino's Spot. And as our winner tonight, here he is. There is our winner. In the future, you are a winner. We hope. We hope somebody got it tonight. There we go. We'll get hold of you. Give us a message with your name and cell number. We'll get that picture leads to you. Thank you to Spa. Thanks to Fitch and Leeds, and thanks to Amobia. All right, next Tuesday we have Jill Stewart. Jill Stewart's here. All the music. We're going to be chatting to her. Well, thank you, our guests tonight as well. Fantastic. The whole lot of you. I love you. Hey, spending the night with me. Hey, hope you got the face that's beaming. Fill up your tank with glee. Thank you, Spa. Thank you, Fitch and Leeds, for spending the night with me and in Mobia. See you on Tuesday. You look listen.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino's Spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your mental. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's Spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's Spot.